Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Walking Dead discussion. Now before we start with this, I just want to make it clear that although I am not totally caught up, one of the things I did this past weekend was I actually ordered Fear the Walking Dead off of Amazon. It finally came, my Blu-ray and everything finally came over the weekend, and I binge watched that shit. I completely stopped everything I was doing, and I just watched all 6 or so episodes of that show, and I was kind of blown away. I really like the whole concept. I'm going to be watching it more and more and hopefully doing some content over it in the future when I finally catch up into season 3. But before that, because of that, I actually got this idea that this actually worked. It's something I wasn't necessarily expecting, that this whole kind of concept of just branching off and doing spin-offs in The Walking Dead that are kind of separated from Rick and Co.
Yeah.
It worked and it worked. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I have MJ from Geekless TV here joining me. I'm sorry I had not introduced him yet, but MJ, why don't you say hello to everyone?
I hope I didn't mess that up by talking.
No. I meant to do it, but I was just kind of got into this little tangent about it. But anyway, guys, if you already clicked on this video, you know exactly what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be discussing, and that is what is basically my pitch for a long form or maybe even short, whatever, idea of a Walking Dead spinoff. And there are certain implications. Just keep interrupting.
Okay, go. You're talking about spinoffs, go.
Personally, I feel like there's certain things that they've been talking about maybe they might be doing more in the future. AMC definitely loves the property. They want to keep it going. So personally, one thing I was thinking of is, one of the things that has really helped the series going forward the last 7 seasons is the fact that, kind of separated from the comics in general, we have Daryl Dixon and Merle, his brother. Those people are kind of original creations of the television show. They aren't necessarily focused or central to the comic books. They're not even in there to begin with. And a lot of people consider that a huge strength of the television show. These are really interesting characters, especially Darrell. Huge fan favorite, someone they necessarily can't kill off at this point. And Norman Reedus has talked about, they can't necessarily kill him off. He's so popular, but they can probably get rid of him in the future because he's the type of character who's kind of a lone wolf who's meant to survive in this area, but maybe he shouldn't be around Rick and Co. for the entire series. So one of the things I was thinking of is, if that's actually true, one of the things they could start building to because of the events that have been playing out over the last couple episodes here in Season 7 is the fact that maybe they can kind of let Darrell walk off into the sunset and then branch him off into his own companion series with The Walking Dead, where he doesn't necessarily play the central role, but he's basically the Mad Max character of the zombie apocalypse, going from one situation to another, and we can see a lot of people, how they react and how they live in these situations, with him kind of going into them and helping resolve the issue one after another every season in more of an anthology series. So MJ, what do you think about this? Do you think that that's something that could work? What are certain concepts you would like to see from that, and anything else you want to say?
I think that would work perfectly because, how you mentioned that they can't necessarily kill him off, and he's just so popular of a character that just kind of giving him his own, spinoff. Yeah, his own spinoff could work because he can carry it. But if you introduce these really well concepts, like you said, the whole Mad Max, or even you can, if you're an anime fan, you can go the whole One Piece route where he just visits these different locations, which would be cool because one thing I've always loved about The Walking Dead is their locations. Not sure how you guys feel about that, or even you, Mark, but I've always just sort of loved their sets. I don't know why, but that's just been me. So to see newer sets, newer surroundings, that would always be a welcome to me. Seeing him kind of jump from place to place would be also pretty well. That's who he is. He's a lone wolf. He's going to go where he can and go where he needs to survive and just travel amongst his wasteland, the zombie apocalypse world. And we can see him kind of mesh with newer characters, because that's one thing that I think me and you talked about off air before, is that we've talked about recently actually, that he can't necessarily, he needs a group of, because he is a good actor, he's a very good actor, Norman Reedus, and his character is very well done, but at the same time it's almost like he needs at least a few more characters to bounce off of, At the same, I'm not sure if you get what I'm saying here, but he just needs a few characters to bounce off of. And if they introduce new concepts, these new plots, and new characters for him to bounce off of, I think it would be great. You know what I mean? And plus, we can kind of get him away from Rick and all of them, and plus we talked about it before in a recent video about what can we expect. I can't remember the exact title, but we talked about that recently about Daryl just kind of up and leaving. You know what I mean? That maybe he's just kind of done with this. You know, like we've talked about it before about his revenge kind of costing Glenn's life. You know, like not revenge, but his outburst. You know, and then his revenge getting them in that whole predicament in the first place. Him taking off on his own when they try to stop him. You know, it's like maybe just him kind of just leaving the group saying, you know, guys, I'm done here. See you later. Something similar to that. I don't know. Him just riding off and to his own destiny, you know, just follow his own destiny. I think that would be a very cool concept. And I like the idea of this whole Mad Max type. That's very cool. So, yeah, I'm down with that. I would be down for that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I know you haven't seen the newest episode. I won't spoil it for you. And regardless of when this goes up, it's episode 3 we're talking about. But anyway,
yeah,
season 7, episode 3. I personally think that in that episode, we're definitely seeing Daryl's character go into a darker place than he's ever been. And, you know, considering the character and what he's been through throughout this entire series, that's saying something that's we're definitely going to see him have to grapple with the fact of what he's done. I mean, he's already starting to feel it in this latest episode. He's starting to see and realize everything that has kind of come and led to that particular moment with Negan and Glenn, and how that affects Maggie and Rick and everyone else around him, and how it affects him. So it wouldn't be wholly surprising to see him, after all this is said and done, after Negan is completely taken out, or, you know, at least stopped in general if they're going to go the comic book route, for Daryl's character to just saddle up and leave, you know. Yeah. Get on his motorcycle and leave and just go off and do his own thing. And we don't know how long The Walking Dead is going to last, but I feel like, you know, if they're going to allow it to keep going with Fear the Walking Dead and any other spinoff that they can think of, this is probably the best route, because it's not like Norman Reedus' character is, like I said before, he is not an original character from the comics. They created him, and it would actually be easier for them to spin off this character than it would any other character from the comic books, because they essentially own the rights to that character and can start creating certain things that aren't necessarily parallel with the comic books or something like that. Is one of the reasons they can do The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead, and why the Fear Walking Dead doesn't actually has no plans for a crossover with The Walking Dead, although I think a lot of people would really like that. So I just feel like, you know, his character's so awesome. He'd probably, like we said, he needs a background. He needs people to jump off of. He needs people to care about, and situations where he just kind of has to do what he has to do without necessarily wanting to stay or getting over the fact that he has to stay with people or something. He's a lone wolf type of character, like we've said. To me, that it's just like the easiest concept for any type of spinoff that they can really do. And just considering the fact that, you know, they can jump around so much, like you were saying, you know, we can see what New Mexico's like. They can have more Breaking Bad references in that. We could see how Texas is like. We could see all this stuff. Like, you know, we can go and jump around. I wanted to go to Houston, go to Austin, go to Los Angeles. So we've already kind of been to California, but go to New York, or go to all these places that he can kind of go around and
Sorry to interrupt you, but it would be pretty cool to see him do a battle with a whole bunch of zombies in the Alamo Dome. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be go to Texas and you know, people are hauled up in the Alamo, because why not? Or even better yet, like the freaking Astrodome or something. You know, it's like there's so many possibilities, and one of the things that The Walking Dead just won't do because of the source material is explore all these different areas. We're kind of stuck in this little, you know, Atlanta for DC type of concept and area, and we haven't even seen them explore the awesomeness that they could. You know, we haven't seen a season where it's snowing or anything where, like, the cold temperatures never played a role in any of this, although it does in the comic books, and a lot of that is production value and everything. But if they're going to do certain things like this where you can explore and you don't necessarily need to set a whole season in one particular, like, snowy area or something, I just want to see explore this world. And if we can have a character that's basically a nomad who can just explore it, and we could see all the different terrains, all the ways people are living, all the ways people are putting their own kind of civilizations together, the same way that we've seen in The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, then personally, I think that would probably be the best thing for the future of the series.
Plus, you gotta remember, it would just be fun in general, because I know, I'm not too sure if every cast member reads the comics. I remember reading a while back that there was one person that doesn't read the comics, but most of them do, or at least most of them know what's going on in the comics, so they can always expect what's coming next. With Daryl, though, like you said, he's a created character by them. You know what I mean? He's not from the comics, so everything that he's going to be getting each season is, or however long his spinoff will run, is completely brand new material straight from the brain of the people who run The Walking Dead, the TV show. You know what I mean? It would just be, so I think that would be fun for him. You know, be new material, new characters, and you know what I mean. So I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. The fact of the matter is one of the reasons The Walking Dead is fun, but also one of the most frustrating things is there's very few things that could actually happen that shock us, to the point where there's not much that we don't know because of the comics and the way the show tries to adhere to the comics. And personally, that was one of the things that I found very, very refreshing with Fear the Walking Dead, was I didn't know what one episode was going to lead to another, and I thought that was actually very interesting. I'm very excited to see the second season, and I completely understand why certain people are clamoring for certain things that are outside of the Walking Dead story in general, because as cool as they are, the comic books do ruin the story for those who don't read, or for those who, you know, can't wait or already know, or, you know, it's a weird situation, but I feel like that is something worth mentioning. So anything they can do outside of that, anything new and surprising they can give us, would be just amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I agree 100%.
Anyway, guys, I want y'all to go into the comment section below. I want y'all to tell us what you think the perfect spinoff for The Walking Dead would be. You know, be very creative. Be creative. I know the temptation is to sit around and go, oh, let's figure out where the disease came from, and let's figure out what the government's doing at this point or something. I want you guys to think like individually. The cool thing about The Walking Dead is it's more focused on individuals, you know, living their lives in the zombie apocalypse, and not necessarily dwelling on what the government's doing or where all this came from, or, you know, anything else like that. So yeah, be creative. And thank you so much, MJ, for joining us. Do you have anything left to say on this? Anything you want them to do in the comment section below, or anything like that?
Just make sure you click Real to Real subscribe button if you're watching this and aren't subscribed to them, because I'm here all the time, and we make cool videos. I mean, I watch our own videos, so there you go.
So true, guys, and make sure to go check out MJ as well for, you know, for more content, not like this. Honestly, he covers more so anime stuff. He covers Dragon Ball. He's going to get into One Piece pretty soon here, and maybe we'll be talking about other animes going on in the near future. But, you know, as a matter of fact, just if you like any of that stuff, please make sure to go check him out, because you won't be sorry for all the stuff that he puts out there.
Also, quick plug, I'm going to be doing flashback reviews, so any movies from the 80s, 90s, older periods, I will be rewatching them, some of my favorites, and I'll be reviewing them on my channel. So if you're into that, check that out.
That's also kind of cool. I can't wait to see that. Anyway, MJ, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
I'm just kidding. Whatever. It's always an honor to work with you, bro, man. Thank you for having me.
No, man, thanks so much for coming on. Anyway, guys, we'll catch you on the next Walking Dead video, Dragon Ball video, Dexter video, or I guess Saul video, or whatever else I want to cover in the near future. But we'll catch you then. Bye.
Bye.